Welcome back to the NFL Alumni's continuing coverage from Super Bowl 59. I'm Bram Weinstein. We're presented by Pacera, transforming how the world treats pain. Here's Ed McCaffrey, longtime NFL alum, of course, patriarch of one of the best football families in the NFL these days. Ed, it's great to see you.
Great to see you too. Yeah. Thanks for having me on the show. Appreciate it.
When you think about Super Bowl week now, what do you think about?
For me, it's like a reunion. You know, I played 13 years in the league. A lot of my friends are coaches now. A lot of my kids' friends play in the league now. And so I run into all kinds of people that have been part of my past. And I'm really excited about it. Obviously, I wish my son's teams were playing in this game.
Yeah.
So it's very bittersweet. What I enjoy about it is running into a lot of old friends and seeing a lot of old faces and sharing stories from the past, talking about how they're doing. Because some of these guys I only see this time of year. I see them once a year. The tough part is that the Commanders are not in this game. The 49ers are not in this game. The Miami Dolphins are not in this game, and three of my kids obviously play and coach for those teams. So it's exciting. I still think football is the greatest sport in the world. We got the greatest athletes in the world competing this week. We will have one champion, and for the other 31 NFL teams, it'll finally be time to turn the page and get started again to work towards next year.
You never know what you're going to get either. In the summer, one of your son's teams was probably expected to be here. The other one was on a team that had a whole new staff and a whole new this and a whole new that. And that's the one that got a step away, and the other one didn't make the playoffs. I guess you just never know what you're going to get.
You never know. You never know. And the 49ers played so well the last couple of years. They were decimated with injuries this year. The ball didn't bounce their way. It just wasn't meant to be. The Washington Commanders, no one was giving them a chance, right? And for me, when I look at an organization, especially successful, and it starts with ownership. And Josh Harris has done a phenomenal job of helping to rebuild the team and the culture. You have to get the right GM, Adam Peters. What a phenomenal job of identifying talent and bringing it in, starting with the quarterback. You need the head coach in Dan Quinn. Everybody I've talked to loves him, not only in the Washington Commanders locker room, but in every locker room of all the players that he's coached. They all have nothing but great things to say about him and his ability to unite a team. And there was a brotherhood within that locker room this year. And then you got to get the quarterback position right, and man, did they get it right with Jaden Daniels. But they have a lot of talented players around them. They far exceeded expectations. That's not enough for them. They want to be playing this week, not watching the game. But it was really fun to watch. I had such a good time. I went to all the home games, went to a lot of the away games, went to the playoff games, and that was just, for me, it wasn't just about the talent on their team and their record. It was about how this team really bought in to what head coach Dan Quinn was trying to do and how they embraced each other. They played selflessly, they played for each other, and it gives us hope that next year we're going to see the same sort of football.
After your playing career, did you know you wanted your sons to follow in your footsteps, to play football? And where did that kind of fall for you as you were raising your kids?
Lisa and I agreed that we were never going to sign our kids up for football until they asked. So we never talked about it. We never signed them up for a team. Our oldest son, Max, who's now coaching with the Dolphins, was the first to want to play football. He was 9 years old. But players in Colorado start at 6 years old. So a lot of the kids, a lot of his friends have been playing for 3 years. Finally, one of his friends, Cody, talked him into going out for the team. And he played and ended up loving the sport. He ended up playing in the NFL for 5 or 6 years. Now he's coaching. Went to Duke and played at Ballard Christian, a great high school in Colorado. Had a wonderful career and fell in love with it in his own way. As soon as he played, Christian fell in love with it. Yeah, Christian was 7, and he's like, my big brother's playing, I want to play too. And then Dylan, and then Luke, and right on down the line. But Lisa and I had no idea that any of them would want to play football or that they would continue to pursue it to this level. And then when they're kids, you never know how big they're going to be or how quick they're going to be or fast or how they'll develop. So I guess the short answer is no. We just made sure that whatever they did, they followed their passion and they always stayed active. So if they didn't want to play football, they could play another sport. They could join the chess team. They could be part of STEM. They could get a job. They could do a lot of different things. We never forced them in anything. I think it's important as a parent to let your kids choose what they want to do. But you encourage them and guide them when you need it. But if it's not their choice, they'll probably fall out of love with it. So I think because we never pushed them into the sport, it allowed them to fall in love with it on their own terms and in their own way.
Yeah, fortunately, they did it though. And in Christian's case, at what point did you realize that he's not just a good player, but he could be a great player in the NFL?
I mean, honestly, he was good from the first time he picked up a football. He joined the team and was scoring 6-7 touchdowns a game as a 7-year-old. But we're in Colorado. I mean, he was. Yeah. But you're in Colorado. The state of Colorado in terms of population, is probably the size of Houston. So there's a lot of great players out there, and who knows what other great players out there. And just because you're really good at 7, some kids are fully mature at age 12 or 13 and they stop growing and stop developing. I've seen a lot of players that have been in that situation that were stars when they were in youth league, and then for whatever reason, genetically, they stopped growing or developing, and it happens. So you never know, and so it was never really about the NFL. It was about, hey, be part of a team, be part of something bigger than yourself. They loved hitting people. They loved scoring touchdowns. So Christian, Max, Dylan, and Luke were all really good as kids.
Yeah.
And you could see that if they stayed on that track, there might be a chance. But there's just too many question marks, and you don't want to think about it when kids are too young. So all my kids played a bunch of different sports: football, basketball, baseball, lacrosse, track. And I think that helps too, playing different sports, being a multi-sport athlete. You develop different skills, you work on different muscles, and it takes away the boredom of doing the same thing over and over and over again. So they played football, but in the winter they play basketball, in the spring it's track or lacrosse. Did a bunch of different things throughout their lives that I think are important for young kids to do.
For Luke, he followed Christian into the NFL. He just had his rookie season. Did he feel any pressure or to try to live up to what his brother was doing in the NFL?
I don't think Luke feels any pressure. He loves football and he's very confident in himself. I've been talking to a lot of football families here this week because there are several families who have multiple kids or a father-son combination that played in the league. And with some of the dads, there is that expectation from their kid that they develop and be a pro player. But I never had those expectations. No one in my family ever played pro sports. So I don't pretend to understand what it is like for a kid who's the son of a pro player or for a kid whose brother is a pro player to feel. I never had to go through that. I think there might be some advantages in that you can learn from your brother and you compete with really talented athletes under your own roof. But there's also a lot of disadvantages in that now you have to live up to certain expectations, right? You're always in the shadow of a brother or a father, and that might cause you undue pressure if you allow it to, but the only pressure is really the pressure you put on yourself. In terms of Luke, he loves football, and he fell in love with it in his own time, and he's very confident in himself, and like Christian, though, they have a lot of similar qualities. He loves being part of a team, he loves competing, and he loves the game. Yeah, and I think, if you have the talent to be in the league, because if you don't have the talent, you're not playing in the NFL, that those things are important. Your toughness, your willingness to learn, your work ethic, all those things matter.
Let's talk about what you're doing here.
Oh, yeah.
Protein Bites, the McCaffrey family.
Luke's on here, by the way.
There he is.
Check him out.
They're all on there.
Yeah, we are so proud of our McCaffrey brand's Protein Bites. We just launched these this week. And, I really wanted to come up with a healthy, great tasting snack food. And as you know, most healthy foods do not taste great. And I've eaten every health bar and tried every supplement that's out there probably. And we went through many, many iterations of our Protein Bites before we found 3 different flavor profiles that tasted delicious. So we have chocolate chip cookie dough, fudge brownie, and birthday cake. And that is intentional. These are gluten-free, non-GMO, plant-based protein. Some of my kids have allergies, so we started out with nut-free snacks, but I think they're delicious. So far, we've gotten great feedback. Have you tried one yet?
I will.
Okay.
I will.
Well, let me know what you think,
Right.
but they are delicious. They're for everyone, too, and that was one of the challenges. Are we making these for adults? Are we making them for kids? They are for everybody. They're super healthy, so mom and dad can have them while they're driving carpool or going to work, or in Lisa's case, when we're on the plane and we want to eat something healthy and not dig into the junk food when we're traveling to the Commanders games or the 49ers or Dolphins games. Kids can eat them as a halftime snack. When I was a player, a lot of our guys would get nauseous before games. The energy, the nerves. It's hard to eat a pregame meal. I talked to some guys that didn't even eat a pregame meal. You have to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You need to fuel your body. But there's those times during the day where maybe you're about to participate in an athletic event. You can't eat a cheesesteak right before you go for a run, right? This gives you good, healthy energy, very low calorie, easy to digest. So pre-game, halftime snack, post-game, between lunch and dinner when you're hitting a little bit of a low and you don't want to bonk, instead of picking up a candy bar, this is a really healthy snack that can fuel your day.
Ed McCaffrey, it was great seeing you.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you so much.
Great to see you. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.